Hey, welcome to Cooking with Boiling Water and Other Basics. I'm your host, Layla Swad, and today we're going to be making bacon mushroom omelets with a tortilla outer shell, aka a bacon mushroom omelet quesadilla, whatever you want to call it. And I picked this recipe simply because it's something easy you can make with the kids. And it's also like stuff that you have laying around in your fridge. So without further ado, let's get cooking. And we'll get to the ingredients. Right here we have thick cut bacon, some leftover mushrooms, some onions, caramelized in bacon fat, some flour tortillas, and various cheeses, and of course butter. Also, we have an egg mixture and a non-stick frying pan. That's very important, non-stick, because who wants to do dishes? Nobody. And this is covered in like bacon fat from earlier when I fried that bacon. Very important. Okay, now let's get to this egg mixture. For those of you who know me well, you know my secret. I hate eggs. I absolutely despise them. But this is one of those recipes that is so good, like you don't even taste the egginess. It disguises the flavor perfectly. And so that's why I chose this recipe, because even I can eat eggs in this dish. Okay, so this egg mixture consists of 2 large eggs, some parsley, some dried dill, salt and pepper, and just a splash of heavy whipping cream. Okay, that is to give the egg buoyancy and fluff. And so when you fold this quesadilla over in the pan, it's going to give it like some real good volume. Okay, so now that this is heating up and we're swirling our grease around in the pan, let's get to cooking that egg, okay? So we're just going to dump this in. Hear that sizzle? Yeah. I'll put this over here in the sink. And then you want to swirl your egg around in the pan. It's very important that it coats the whole bottom of the pan just like that. Okay? And you want it to spread out a bit, but you want it to cook slow. So I have this on medium high or medium heat so that it spreads out slow and it doesn't burn. Now, a lot of people don't like any brown on their eggs. I like some brown on my eggs. It lets me know that they're fully cooked and you're not gonna have any nastiness in there. But if you like it yellow, I digress. You don't have to let that cook all the way. It's at this point that we're gonna add our first combination of cheese. This is 3-state cheddar I got from Meijer. And we're gonna open the bag. And at this point, my handsome assistant is going to take things from me so I can open things up. Okay, again, extra clean hands. I touched nothing. And we're going to just sprinkle this in there like that. And just kind of shake it around. I don't know if they can see. Okay. And then, at this point, I'm going to take the tortilla and put it like the side with the least brown on it, down like that in the pan. Okay? So that's what that looks like at this point. Now, you're going to let this cook for a minute. You're going to let this cook. Okay? And then, as that's cooking, you can just kind of take your clean hands here and kind of swish this around to make sure that it's not going to stick. Now, when it gets to the point where it looks like it's bubbling on the surface, and don't worry, the top of this egg is going to cook through the tortilla when we flip it on the other side. And this is where our butter comes in, because we don't have enough bacon grease to do all of that, right? I mean, common sense says that you're going to need some more grease to make this happen. So we unwrap our butter. Always keeping an eye on our quesadilla situation. And you do just a pat like that. You see? And then you're not even going to swirl it around like the edge of the pan all that much. You just get it like that. So if you need to flip it, then you get this off like that and stick it in the middle so that the quesadilla will get a nice crisp brown. We do that on purpose so that it will hold up during the cooking process and won't fall apart. You want your quesadilla flour tortilla crispy at this point. Okay? So, what we're going to do now is take your spatula and kind of do this around the edges as that egg is cooking. And you don't want to but you want to scrape a little as you're going around. See? Okay. Now, here is the tricky part. You're gonna see this kind of go around a bit, and then you flip it. See how brown and pretty that is in there? Okay. It's at this point that we're going to add our baby Swiss. Just one piece of this. You don't want it too gooey. And then we're going to add the last of our cheese here, which is some sharp white cheddar. I know a lot of people prefer yellow cheese, but sometimes the flavor can be a bit strong for me. But you can use whatever cheese you want, or whatever you have laying around, like I said. And then we're going to add our mushrooms, our leftover mushrooms, like this. And it doesn't really matter where they go because we're going to fold this over. We're going to add our caramelized onions. These are the onions I caramelized in bacon fat earlier. Like I said, bacon fat is nature's lubricant. You can use this for pretty much everything in cooking. Okay. And you won't have to waste your butter. And last but not least, we're going to add 2 strips of bacon. Just like that. We're not going to cut this down because this is the quesadilla you eat with a knife and fork, guys. Okay? And now our tortilla should be nicely brown on the other side. Now here's where a little artistry comes in, because you're going to have to try and get this off and fold it over just like this. And it might be a little messy, but hey, do you know any kid or anyone who eats meat when they're really getting into it? I don't. So there we go. And so we're going to let some of that cook inside. You see how fat that is? You see how it's having trouble? This is why we wanted everything stable, because we don't want that falling out of our quesadilla when we plate it. And after this cooks a little bit, you can probably flip this over and have it cooked on the other side like that. You see, this is really loaded, and that's why it's falling out a little bit. There we go. Okay. And that is basically our quesadilla. I hope you enjoyed this little recipe. I know I enjoyed making it for you guys. So all you're going to do is just either spatula this out onto a plate and call it a day. Top it with some sour cream, a few like scallions if you got them, and that's your bacon mushroom quesadilla with egg. I hope you enjoyed this recipe again. I'm Layla Swad, and this was cooking, boiled water, and other basics. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.